Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 18 of the Give 'em Heck podcast. I'm Brian, this is your host, Penny, and we would like to say sorry for the long departure. We've been
busy.
Busy is an understatement.
Ugh.
Ever since, when did we say we were leaving? Was that Thanksgiving?
4th of July.
Did I say Thanksgiving?
4th of July.
4th of July.
It has been nonstop.
Yeah, it really has been.
It's been good. It's been bad.
I was going to say, we've had ups and downs. Obviously nothing to keep us from doing the podcast, but it's been an adventure, put it lightly. I don't know if we should mention what had happened in the family.
You can just say a death in the family.
Yeah, we've had a passing in the family recently, so if any of that side of the family is watching this, we'd like to extend condolences to that and hope the best for you. I know I wasn't able to attend because I had vacation scheduled during then, so it's unfortunate that happened, but we'd like to say that we're all here for you, and
we love you.
Yes, definitely extend love and prayers and thoughts towards you. And getting off of the negatives. I'm gonna make this announcement on our TikTok kind of the last one
forever.
It's been going on. I've been mentioning it almost every single episode, but we are still working on it. The trailer is a work in progress right now for the TikTok and the podcast, but it's still a work in progress. I'm not going to mention it again until it's done. I don't want to be a broken record.
Right.
So just know it's coming. Just don't know exactly when. But some good news. We have officially released our social media, or I should say created our social media. So far we are just on X currently. I will be posting a link to our X account in the description, so you can go ahead and follow us on there. We would like to have that to be an extra form of socialization with you guys, so you can post comments, stories, and we can give you updates on whether or not we'll be doing an episode that week, or maybe what the episode might be about or what it entails. Just small things like that. It's just another way to more easily communicate, so you guys don't have to send us emails or comments, just to make it a little bit more personal.
Right.
But I think that's it.
That's it.
Other than that, I think we'll get right into it.
Yes.
I'm interested to see what you cooked up this week.
Okay. So yes, as Brian said, it has been a while, and it's been a wild ride for the last month, but here we are, and I hope you all had a good 4th of July, and hopefully your ride hasn't been as crazy as ours, but if so, we get it. So again, just bringing to the light that our disclaimers that we're not doctors, psychologists, or counselors. We are not given any medical or psychological advice. We're just simply here to discuss real life situations, to give hope, encouragement, and hopefully instill change. Yes. So, although it seems like a long time ago, in our last episode, we talked about from tragedy to hope.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and boy, we've experienced some of that, didn't we?
I was going to say, yeah, we've been there.
Yeah, and I always say this, we live our podcast, don't we? And it's really weird because people will say, well, then it must be easy for you to write your podcast because you write it off your life experiences. Well, yes and no. We do write it off our life experiences because obviously, it's what we know. We want real life experiences to bring to you so that whatever you're going through, if we've been there, it can not only bring you hope and encouragement, but you'll look at it to see how we've changed through it to help you with it. But honestly, a lot of times when we talk about these things in our podcast, they happen after the fact.
Yeah, they either happen before or after, but 9 times out of 10 it's after.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Yeah, maybe I should write something like,
How we became millionaires.
I was thinking that, Brian. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. And there's.
Can you imagine, like, if that happened, what we could do with our podcast?
Oh my word, where we could take this.
Where we could take it, yeah.
That would be amazing. How many more people we could help?
Or, just share experiences with, give them a place where they can talk,
Yeah.
which is,
Absolutely.
again, an extension of, like, what we want to do with the X account. We want to bring a place where people can
Right.
come and share their stories,
Right, so
relate,
we can,
help them, encourage them,
Yeah,
that kind
and
of thing.
if you give us permission to talk about your story, we don't have to reveal your name, but we'd like to hear how you handled those situations, because we're not always right,
Or, like, questions on how to handle the situation. Yeah,
because we're just riding the ride, just like everybody else, right?
absolutely.
Yeah, there it is. So with our last episode that we talked about From Tragedy to Hope, we talked about with so much tragedy in this world, we need hope. And unfortunately, it's not hard to find tragedy and pain in this world. Obviously, you could just turn on the TV and see a lot of that. But finding hope sometimes can be a little bit more difficult. What we discussed with that too, Brian, was I had asked you, what does tragedy and hope mean to you? And one thing you said that really stuck out to me, of course, you're a very positive person anyway.
I try to be.
I know. And you always try to find the good in the situations, is you said there's always a silver lining.
Yep.
Some-
Always.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily in context of thinking everything is sunshine and rainbows. It's not a matter of like thinking there's always going to be a silver lining, but just knowing that you can make a silver lining. Like there can be a positive even when you don't see it. It's almost like overlooking the hurdle and being like, yeah, that's a big hill I have to walk over, but I don't know what's on the other side of it, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm not the kind of person that likes to think everything is sunshine and rainbows, because I know the world's not like that.
No.
But it can be a personal thing. It's like, even if what I'm about to face is bad and even the after effects are bad, I can still make the best out of it.
Right.
It's like that.
Yeah. Because like you said, you don't know what's on the other side. It may take a while to get to that silver lining, but just knowing that maybe if you keep going, it will be there, right?
Exactly. It's like, I think an example I said in a prior episode is like, the storm always passes.
Right.
The sun always comes out.
Yeah, eventually. And sometimes it's just time, right? So, like you said, Brian, and I know you're the type of person that thinks positive. I remember I used to say, everything happens for a reason. But I love what you say. You say that everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to. And you honestly believe that. See, to me, that's crazy. But
The way I see it is in that, to give more of a in-depth look at that, is like, just because bad things happen doesn't mean that it has to be the brick wall I run into. The end all be all. It's more like everything happens the way it's supposed to because I create the path in front of me.
okay.
So why do I have to make a bad situation be the thing that knocks me to the ground?
Like the end all be all.
Exactly. I view it as like taking another path and then building upon it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's kind of how I see it.
Not surprised.
It's almost like you know me.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So with that being said, and with the world being such a mess, one thing I have noticed lately, and this is kind of leading into our podcast, is that, I know you don't have to go far to even talk to people, not even watching TV to see the mess we're in, but you talk to people, and, people are tired, they're wore out, life is hectic. A lot of people are just kind of at their wits' end. Whether they've hit that wall or not, I don't know. But one thing that I've noticed lately with talking to people is that people's mindsets seem to be changing. And I think too with that is people seem to be rethinking a lot of things in life. Do you find that?
I get a mixture of both, and I think it's because of the kind of people I'm around.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like I get a mixture of everything. I get the people who want to give up, and I have to ask them why. Like, what's your reasoning to wanting to give up? Like, because to me, yeah, the world's in a bad place right now. I think everybody can see that, but the earth still spins. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. That's really good.
Now, obviously, in the extreme examples, some people are in very bad situations, but as far as I'm concerned, to the average human being on planet Earth, the earth is still spinning.
So do you think that, or do you find, Brian, when you talk to people, like lately I'm seeing this, that people's mindsets are changing. They're rethinking a lot of things, not just what they're dealing with now, but they're also thinking about things that have happened in the past that are changing their minds now. Does that make sense?
I guess it depends on the context. Because to me, I'm around a lot of like people that are in their mid-20s. So to and I'm not going to start bashing on younger generations, but it's like to the extreme examples for like the handful of people that I know, they don't know what to think.
Oh,
They just don't know. To the vast majority of people that I know, everybody is like, either they just don't care, like they're still living their lives,
okay.
or a lot of them are thinking a lot like I do. Like I find a lot more people that agree with me than I do disagree. Usually it's the very odd case examples of people that are completely against everything that I say and just kind of want to live sheltered.
Wow.
So I guess it depends on the age, the generation, that kind of
Where
thing.
they're at.
Yeah, where they're at in life.
Definitely.
So maybe your experiences are a little different than mine. But
Yeah, I'm a little bit older than you.
yeah.
Not much. We won't go there. So that's going to lead us into our podcast tonight, which we're going to discuss endurance and perseverance.
Okay.
And it's going to make sense in a minute, okay? Because it always does. So I'm going to ask you, Brian, what does endurance mean to you?
I guess going into the thing with the storm analogies that I keep giving, the endurance is like how long you can withstand it, how long you can beat against it, stand against it, rather. To me, endurance is...
That's good.
To me, endurance is more than half of the battle. Because if you can endure the storm, you will pass to see the light.
Right. And again, it all depends on where you're at, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
not everybody's where I'm at with it, but for me, I tend not to worry about the storm that's coming or the storm that's here.
Right.
I will endure it. Because it won't last forever.
Right. Right.
And I think that's a lot of a big problem that a lot of people deal with today is that people don't know how to endure.
Why do you think that is?
You want me to be honest?
Yes.
And I'm not intentionally stepping on any toes with anybody that's watching. I'm only going off of my own personal experience. But I find a lot of people are cowards. It's easier to hide. It's easier to run. But then when
to deal.
But the problem with that is that it doesn't build any strength, character, discipline. It doesn't build anything. Because if you shelter yourself and you don't endure the hard times, you don't get tough skin to it.
Right.
Every new threat is something you run from.
Well, that's life. Life's not going to coddle you.
No, it never does.
Life's going to godsmack you. Sooner or later, it's going to.
If anything, people that endure a lot of good times are often the ones that get hit the worst because they don't know how to handle bad times.
Right. That's true.
Or they refuse to think that there could be bad times. Like people that make really good money. They could never think of the idea of being poor. So then when they do become poor, all of a sudden they don't know how to act.
Well, yeah.
They don't know what to do.
But the reality of it is, and this is, we talked about this a few minutes ago, reality, right? You need to learn to live in reality. That rug can be pulled out from under you any minute. You are not invincible from anything happening.
Nothing in life is guaranteed.
Nothing.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Which is why I like to give people a harder sense of reality when I have my talks.
You do. And I appreciate your honesty, Brian. To me, when I talk to you about these things, I don't look at it as you're demeaning or putting anybody down, or I love when you and I talk that a lot of things, questions and whatnot, where you put me in my place, that you do bring it to the table. Mm-hmm. At first, I kind of get aggravated with you. I might get mad at you, get upset with you. But then after, I'm like, you know what? I'm glad you were honest with me. Because why fake it?
And who's right most of the time?
Oh, shut up.
But yeah, no, it's true. You can't live your life in this bubble of like, I will never have to endure anything.
Right.
No minute is guaranteed.
And some of those minutes are going to be hard.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean you have to look for a demon under every rock. I'm just saying there's a point where you have to understand that in a moment's notice, your life could be turned upside down. I mean, we've experienced it recently.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you don't know how to deal with it, and I don't mean run from it. A lot of people interpret dealing with it as kind of shutting themselves down. No, if anything, I encourage people when bad times happen to become more proactive.
Yeah.
Even if it kills you, not literally, but
right.
The concept of it is, if you can stand tall in the midst of high winds, you'll be stronger the next time it comes through again.
Well, isn't the old adage, whatever doesn't kill you will make you stronger?
And it's true.
And it is true.
I live it.
Yeah.
Why do you think I don't really care anymore?
I know somebody asked me that at work the other day. They said, how do you get to the point that you just don't care? I said, sooner or later, you'll just get there.
I've often thought about that question because you even asked it to me. And I think the best answer I can give you to it is that you have to endure a lot.
Yes. Yes.
It's not a matter of somebody just waking up one day and being like, well, I just don't care anymore.
Oh, no.
You have to be beaten down relentlessly, constantly. And then the stronger you see a person hold themselves, you look at that person and say, that person's been through some stuff.
Oh, you've seen some stuff.
Yeah. Because that's my thing.
Yeah.
People don't realize with me, because I'm quiet. I'm very quiet. And that's not me being antisocial. That's me observing.
Right.
Because the longer I've lived, when I used to be reckless and put myself, not necessarily being ridiculed for being myself, but like just being the more with the vibe kind of person, I often found myself in a position where people would judge me. So I didn't necessarily shut down. I'm still who I am. But now, all of those times that those people beat me down in my life, and I'm not patting myself on the back or saying ha ha, or laughing at them or anything, but all of those people that did that to me, they're in worse places than I am now.
Did they do you a favor?
Yes. Because it made me the man I am today.
Right. Because now when you face a stronger storm, it's easier to get through, isn't it? Because now you know the warning signs, you know what to look for, you know how to act, you know when to confront that, you know when to back down, you know when to say something, and you know when not to.
Exactly.
It shapes you, it forms you, it changes you.
Mm-hmm. I guess you could say I fit the stereotype of the strong, silent type.
Yeah.
And that's not, me saying that. A lot of people have said that to me. Like, you seem like a very strong mental person.
You are. Mm-hmm.
Because I never let anything get to me physically. It was all mental.
Right.
So I learned to combat it through observation, through study, discipline, respect. All of these things have built me into the person I am. Mm-hmm. And that is the ultimate test of endurance.
Right.
And of course, everybody has different examples. Just because my personal experience was more mental, some people have experienced more physical.
Right.
I actually have a friend who said that they were physically, hurt by their friends, when they were younger.
Right.
And he's a lot like me. He had two choices, he told me, that he could have made. He could have said, I could either have let that continue and just let it turn me into, a scrawny, pathetic person, or I could take charge of myself and start working out, building self-confidence, teaching lessons.
Wow.
Now, he's a big guy,
Nobody's going to mess with him now.
Yeah, and he didn't do that because he wanted to prove a point. He looked at it as, this is the storm I'm dealing with.
That's good.
What is the counter to it?
Yeah.
That's how you need to look at it. Endurance is not just standing there and taking it. Endurance is coming up with a counter.
Yeah. So it changed him in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
And storms can do that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll batter you for a while, but I think it's all in the perspective of where you're going to take it, how you're going to look at it, where you're going to let it change you. I mean, it could be for good or bad, but, it's up to you to determine that.
Yeah, it's always, and that's why I think we've even said it in other episodes, is like, you're in more control than you think you are.
It's absolutely true.
It's all a matter of how you might not be in control of the situation.
Right.
But you can be in charge of how you walk down the road. And sometimes you can even be in charge in how you build that road.
That's good. I like that. That was a really good explanation of endurance. So now I'm going to ask you, what does perseverance mean to you?
Perseverance. I guess they go hand in hand.
They do. They're
really
very, very close.
They're very close.
They're very close.
I guess perseverance to me is more of a, as opposed to a physical, it's more of a mental thing. Like, I will persevere through this. Mm-hmm. It's more of like self-boosting, self-confidence.
Keep going.
Yeah. Don't quit.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, they're very, very close. So what I did, because I wanted to give the definition from the dictionary, is endurance. This is what the dictionary said is, endurance is the ability to withstand hardship or adversity, which you really gave a good example. Perseverance is continued effort to do or achieve something despite difficulties, failure, or opposition.
Yeah. It's almost like, even though you can fall, it doesn't mean you can't get back up.
Perfect.
If anything, right. I encourage failure during times of extreme endurance, because failure doesn't mean the end. If anything, to me personally, failure is something that I look at as a challenge. Like, if I don't pass it the first time, I will persevere and get it right.
There you go.
Eventually.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, where this is saying it's continued effort despite difficulties, failures, or oppositions. You can choose, right, because it's always your choice, to give up, fall down, quit, or you can pick yourself back up and say, okay, what am I going to do with this situation?
Well, I know you guys can't see it, but there's a sign on the wall that we have over there, and it says, winners are not people who never lose, but people who never quit.
Right. Exactly.
Because you will fail the moment you quit. But if you keep failing, but you're still pushing, to me, you have never quit.
That's it. Yeah. I like that, Brian. So with this, we do often talk about change, right? Because it's part of our episode, obviously. But we often talk about change in our circumstances. We often talk about change in our situations or our surroundings, right? Like if you're in a bad home situation or a bad relationship or something like that, we often talk about changing those circumstances. But in this episode, I want to talk about changing our mindsets. Because like I said, I've been talking to a lot of people that they're talking to me about how they're, when I say mindset, like they're rethinking their life, they're rethinking things that they've been taught, they're rethinking things that they've been told. Does this make sense? So that's where I kind of want to take the episode to tonight. And you mentioned something, Brian, that with our age difference, and it's true, as you get older, your mindset's going to change anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to, because, and it will, because, be careful, because the thing is I've lived longer than you, meaning I've lived more experiences, not different, because we can
Right.
still both live in the same time frame
Right.
and go through the same situations, but I've lived longer experiences than you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So things that were important to you when you're younger are not the same as when you get older.
Right.
Okay? So I've heard it said, and I like this quote, I'm going to read it to you. It says, when you've lived more years than you have left, you start thinking differently about life.
Yeah.
You know, and I know like you're in your 30s,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm in my 50s. So the thing is, this is the things when I was your age in, you know, my 30s. I'm not going to say that now those things still don't mean something to me, but some of those things are not as important,
Yeah.
you know? And I think anybody that's watching right now, you can say that. You know, when you're in your 20s, you're trying to figure things out. So when you're my age, hopefully you got some of that figured out. I don't know, but you know, it just and your life shapes you depending too on like your home life, people you grow up with,
Mm-hmm.
you know, what your culture
Yeah.
teaches you, what maybe your faith or your religion or, you know, any of that may have taught you. Of course, those things are going to factor in.
Right. Yeah.
So there's no doubt that life itself can change you, and it will. But I believe that tragedy will definitely change you, and it will change your mindset. Although tragedy can be difficult, I also believe that you can find yourself through tragedy, which, you know, we've touched on a little bit. So with that being said, I want to say that I have found myself rethinking a lot of things. And I did mention like faith, ways that I grew up, or, you know, had grown up. And you can attest to this too, Brian. I know that I'm rethinking a lot of things in a lot of areas in my life. And do you find yourself in that place right now? Like
I guess it depends.
I'm asking a lot of questions.
I mean, I guess it depends on what you would mean. I'm pretty steadfast in my ways.
You are.
Because to me, it's not so much an idea of like, I can no longer grow or I feel content. It's not that. It's more of, I'm not looking for anything, if that makes sense. Because everything has been presented. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm not still learning things, but I guess it would depend on the context of what it is you're...
Okay, so you just said you're not trying to find contentment. To me, that tells me that you're still willing to learn, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Explain that a little bit deeper. Because I think
Well,
we're
again,
kind of on the same path.
We are, but the thing that I'm looking for from you is, I guess, maybe what's the context? Talking about emotionally, mentally, physically?
Everything. Emotionally, physically, mentally.
Well, with all due respect, it still doesn't really tell me like what it is you're...
A lot of things that I grew up with. A lot of things that I was taught.
Okay.
Even faith-based. I'm really rethinking a lot of this stuff. And you and I have had deep conversations about this.
Mm-hmm.
Not to the fact that I think I know everything or I've arrived or I'm content with where I'm at right now. But I think a lot of worldly situations have brought me to this. To where I'm like,
Well, I guess it would depend...
I wonder what I was told when I was little, if that's true.
Well, that's the beauty of being, being able to do your own research.
Exactly.
to me, I've been doing, research on a lot of different things throughout my life. So for me, everything that I've looked up, everything seems to line up pretty well.
So you're not questioning anything in your life right now?
No.
Wow. But when you tell me that you're not content in...
Because I'm still willing to learn.
Okay.
But so far, at this current moment in time, everything that I know
is correct.
Seems to be.
You never stood back and said, I'm going to question that.
Well, again, if we get into specifics,
and we may in other podcasts. I don't want to go down that road with this one. But so just in your head, there's nothing in your head right now where you're thinking in these areas in your life that you can honestly say everything is kosher. Really?
Mm-hmm.
You're not rethinking anything. That's amazing. How can you be at the age that you're at and me at the age that I'm at, and I'm rethinking everything?
Again, context is important. Maybe it depends on what specific thing you're looking at that's making you question. But in my own personal headspace, for me, the contentment lies within just facts.
How do you know?
Ideas have been passed around so many times with certain things, politically, nationally, worldly, all of these things that I've been looking into. I do research in everything all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what side of the fence it's on.
Right. Yeah, because you don't take sides. You look at both from a...
No, I don't take sides at all. Why would I take sides? If anything, taking sides is being closed-minded.
Right. And maybe we'll get into more specifics with this.
Yeah, maybe we can have a special episode.
Yeah. It's just amazing to me. So you don't ever feel at any point you've been lied to?
Oh, if you're going to go down that road, oh no, I know I've been lied to. But I don't take people's word for anything.
How do you know what you think you believe is true is even true? See,
Again,
and this is where my mindset is now. I'm rethinking these things because I'm like, who knows if I'm saying that this is not true because I know now it's not, that maybe what I'm either being told now is true. Because I know that isn't, so how do I know this is?
Because that's the beauty of being able to do your own research. Or just, I'll take it a step further and say it's not even a matter about research. It's taking your own life into your own hands. Don't let other people guide the ship. You're in charge of yourself. It's not a matter about finding your own truth. There's only a lie, and then there's the truth.
Exactly.
There is no middle ground.
Exactly.
And anybody that thinks there is delusional. No offense to anybody watching. I'm just saying there is a truth and there is a false. There is no middle ground. So for me, if somebody tells me one thing, even if they say it 100% true, I'm still going to look into it. Because, number one, I don't trust people.
It's not a bad thing.
And I'm not going to trust somebody to spoon feed me anything. No matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Again, whether it's personal, political, worldly, nationally, no matter what it is. You can pick the smallest minute detail or the biggest. I will not be lied to and I will not be fooled. I am the captain of my own ship. And as soon as I let somebody else take the wheel, they're going overboard.
So you said you guide your own ship. How is it guided? What's the truth that guides you?
Knowledge.
Okay. How do you know that knowledge that you're being...
Because I read everything.
Okay.
I read the fine print.
Okay.
I don't just take it for face value. Some things are set in fact. 2 + 2 = 4. You know what I'm saying? There are some things that are set in fact. But there are other things that we're told in life, whether it's something personal, If somebody tells you something about yourself, you can't just take it for face value. It's always best to take a step back and self-examine yourself and be like, is this what this person said about me, whether it's good or bad? Is this something that I can take their word on.
Wow. I know this can go deep, far, long, and
yeah.
wide.
That's why I'm treading water here.
I know, and I love the fact you're doing that, because we will leave it for another episode, because you can take this in so many different directions, and my head is spinning right now. But that's kind of where I'm saying that I find and it's not just because, well, maybe it is because of my age. Maybe it's because of circumstances in life where I'm sitting today. I understand that. But yeah, it is because of that.
I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but it's a big reason why in my friend groups, I'm usually the person that people come to that for questions. And again, I'm not patting myself on the back or anything. There's still a lot of things I don't know.
I was going to say, don't you question anything? You can't be sitting back and saying, I'm done.
No, there are a lot of things in life I don't know. But there's one thing that I will not do, or I should say there's one thing I will never do, and that is lie. So if somebody tells me, do you know the answer to this? I will tell them I don't know. But just because I don't know doesn't mean I can't fill in the gaps with common sense.
Okay.
And then if the question that they've asked me is mind-consuming enough, then I will go and do some reading. I will do some studying. I will do my research.
Are you happy with what you find? How do you know you're not going down the wrong path with that?
I mean, again, context is important. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, with all the knowledge that I do have, yeah, I'd have to say that I'm pretty happy with what I've learned.
Okay. But you won't admit that you can't still learn.
Oh, no, I learn new things every day.
Okay. So your mind can change.
Yeah. Trust me, I'm not one of those people that just closes their mind off to everything. And if I have something set in stone, trust me, there are questions I have that I thought I knew the answers to that I didn't.
Okay. And I think that's fair.
I'm incredibly open-minded. I'm not the kind of person that ever stays... I'm set in my ways as an individual, not as far as mindset.
Right, because to me, when it comes to mindset, if this makes sense, I don't think there's black or white. There's always going to be gray areas because things change all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, even in research, okay, I know you said that, and that's fine, but even in research, it changes.
Yeah. Let's take science, for example. Science changes every day.
Right.
That's the whole beauty of it. It's the things that we can test, study, and demonstrate. It changes every day.
Right.
Just because we know something right now doesn't mean in the next 5 years it won't change again.
Right.
So it's like that.
Right.
It's the idea of having an open mind to the change that occurs.
And I think the open mind is a good way to be, because I'll use this example. I wish I would have known now what I knew then. You know what I'm saying? Because if I would have known sitting here today all these life situations that would have made me question where I'm at today, maybe things would have been different. I know it can't be that way. That I'm not stupid, but do you know what I'm saying? If I'd only known now what I knew then.
I mean, in the grand scope of reality, people can learn no matter what. It depends on, or no matter what age in life. It just depends on how much that problem bothered you when it occurred.
Or is bothering you now.
Yeah, people can adapt all the time, and people do adapt. They adapt to change, attitude, behavior, environment. There's a lot of different things that we can adapt to over time. But for me, and I'm only speaking for myself, is in my younger, you remember me in my early 20s. I was pretty much the same person I am right now.
Pretty much. I think you're more grounded now.
But back then, I knew a lot.
You did, but you've always been that kind of person. You've always been that.
And anybody could be that kind of person. It just, again, it depends on where they're at in life. For me, I had to grow up fast. And a lot of people will look at that and say, oh, that's unfortunate. I don't regret it.
Really?
Nope.
Wow.
I would even dare say if I could live this life again, I'd probably live it the exact same way.
Okay. And I know you've said that before. It just shocks me because I can't say that for myself.
Well, let me ask you this. If you knew, let me ask you this. Let me rephrase the question in a rhetorical manner because I want you to think about this to yourself. I don't want you to tell me the answer, but if you knew how you were going to die, would that change anything?
For where I am right now?
In general.
Just in general.
Because the reason I asked that question
Okay.
is because for me, I am living in the very moment I'm in. I'm not thinking about tomorrow. I'm not thinking about the past. I am living right now. And I think I've said this in other podcast episodes, but you live your life in the moment that you're in.
Okay.
If you stay focused on the past or the future, you're missing out on the present.
I know you've said that.
So for me, I could know what could happen in the future, but I don't care. Because what's going to happen over there is not what's happening here.
I like that.
You lose focus of yourself.
It makes it easier to live life, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It makes life less overwhelming.
It takes off the heaviness.
Especially when you realize that the problems that you think you'll be confronted with, well, they haven't happened yet. So why focus?
True.
Doesn't mean don't prepare, but live your life in the moment that you're in. Because a lot of times that can help you focus on the future.
True.
You know, it's like, you know, I said it earlier in that analogy of I'm the captain of my own ship. Let's use that as the example with the storm. When sailors see a storm approaching, do you think the sailors are thinking of themselves being thrown overboard because of the storm? Or do you think they prepare for it before it gets there?
Yeah.
They're in the moment that they're in. They have time to prepare.
True.
So they prep. They brace. They don't sit there and think, look at that storm on the horizon. Well, I give up. You know, they don't think that way.
Right. That's good.
And
That's a
the
good way to look at life.
Yeah, and that's how we should be living our lives. And I mean that to people watching, you know, to everybody, to us. Stop thinking about things you have no control over. And it's very easy to do. You just got to do it.
Right.
That doesn't mean stress doesn't happen,
Right.
or anxiety or pressure, but when you let those things control your actions in the moment, it can be very damaging for your preparation.
That's good.
So that's my take on it.
And like I said, we could take this a lot of different directions, and maybe we will. So that's why I believe that it's important, Brian, with everything you've said, to find people that are like you. Does that make sense too? Like, put yourself in a place where, like, try to find people that are like you, because yes, you have like-mindedness, but they know how to support you. They know where you're at. You know, they know how to help you to prepare. They know how to build you up. Does that make sense?
Well, yes, and I think some people need that. Me, I don't.
What do you want? The opposite?
Again, it depends on the individual. So I'm not going to tell everybody act like me, you know. But for me, I find it a lot easier to cope when I'm at peace.
Alone?
It could be alone. It could be with a group of people just chilling. You know, it's peace. It helps me clear my mind of the impending things. Some people need physical interaction. Some people need somebody to talk to. Me, I'm not that kind of person.
But the friends that you have, would you say they're a lot like you? Like, do you surround yourself with people that are like you?
I would say more I'm around people who encourage as opposed to that are like me.
Explain.
No, it's just that.
Like
People
encourage
who
you, or
give me
okay, give you
encouragement. Yeah,
encouragement.
people
Okay.
who give me encouragement, but they don't necessarily always align with me,
Okay.
which I actually encourage people to be around people with differing opinions and differing mindsets because it helps me get a better grasp on things.
Well, yeah, because it helps you to see people for who they are and to see their situations where they're at, how they're handling those things, right? So when dealing with tragedy, sometimes you may not always know how to act or be, which we just kind of touched on that. People are always looking for acceptance. They don't want to be judged. They just want to be accepted for where they are because life changes you, and in that, that's okay. And I say that to say this. I know people want to be accepted for who they are, but I think I'm going to speak for me. I want to be accepted for where I'm at, but I don't want to be judged for where I'm at.
Being judged is up to you.
Is that
Why do you need to let people's judgments of you dictate who you are?
you think? We'll use me for an example. You think in that when I say I don't want to be judged, I allow people to do that to me?
No, I think you let it get to you. Me, I don't care if people judge me.
Okay.
I actually encourage it because if anything, it proves my point of confidence. People who judge, oftentimes, not all the time, but oftentimes, are the more insecure. And they can't handle somebody who acts different, who thinks different. They can't handle it.
Why?
Like I said, insecurities, lack of self-confidence. A lot of times, in my experience, and I want to say it again, everything I say and pertaining to myself is all personal experience because I'm not trying to label it as every single person on planet Earth. I'm just going by my own personal anecdotal examples. The people that have judged me and that continue to judge me are people who don't understand me, people that aren't comfortable with themselves, or people that wish they could be like me. There is never a ground where somebody is exactly like me and they still judge me.
So where does someone's, I know this is going to sound like a stupid question, but I want to know your answer to it. Where does the lack of self-confidence come from? And
On
that could be
their
for
part?
anybody. That could be for anybody.
On their part, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. It could be the way they were brought up, could be the way that they think, could be a pride issue. You know, oftentimes people, and again, personal experience, a lot of times people that judge me are people that are very prideful. You know, what's good for me is not good for thee, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like you do you, but if you're gonna sit there and be all jealous and judgmental of me because of the way I think or I act, that's a you problem. But I'm not gonna let it stop me from being who I am.
That's good.
If anything, it encourages me to branch out more.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily to be spiteful, but it's like I'm obviously doing something that's not making this person happy, so why do they have to be around me? I move on. If they continue to constantly think about me and, you know, the insecurities that they have through the judgments that they have of me, then again, that's a you problem.
Right.
Why should I handicap myself to appease your narrow-minded mindset?
Okay, so you mentioned mindset. So where does the change of mindset need to, where does that fall?
For me or for them?
Either.
For them, they just need to be humbled in some way, shape, or form. There needs to be a point in their life where they hit rock bottom and realize that they were wrong. Or at the very least, that they didn't understand.
Okay.
For me, the mindset occurs with action. Action dictates mindset. I continue to act the way that I am and think the way that I do because I am not limited by those things or people around me. Again, I am the captain of my own ship.
Do you ever think you're wrong?
No, of course.
Okay.
But that's where humility comes in. I'm always willing to admit when I'm wrong. There's just never really a point where I need to admit to somebody that I am, because why would I give them the gratification? And I'm talking about people who do judge. I'm not talking about people in general.
Right.
You know, to people who are around me that are also humble, there's a level of understanding that happens when those things occur.
Oh, that's nice.
But when somebody who is jealous of me or judges me and I realize something that I did wrong, I may pass it to them, but how they think of me afterwards is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, I don't live my life for them.
I like that.
Just because their life lives
But you're
for me.
also, in the same respect with everything you just said, Brian, you're living your life for you, but the respect that you're giving them out of the humbleness that you're showing, you're also allowing them to live their life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's important too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying when I say to put yourself around people that are like you, is allow them to live their life too. Just like you want to be able to live yours.
Exactly.
With acceptance and without judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're all trying to find ourselves, right? All the time. And we're trying to grow and be that person. But I think a lot of times we have to extend that hand to other people and say, it's okay to be you.
Mm-hmm.
I say that to people all the time. You do you, boo. And people laugh at it, but it's true, because, sometimes people at work, they're scared to talk about something with me because they'll give me this look like and I'm like, I'm not going to judge you. I don't care. I don't have any right
Exactly. And
to judge you.
That's the point.
Why should I judge you when I could be or I could be in that place where you are? Like, You're no better, I'm no better.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've even mentioned that in other podcast episodes. But it's true.
Yeah.
I'm no better than anybody else. Why
That's
should
right.
I put myself on a higher pedestal?
That's right.
I'm still going to do what I do and say what I say and think how I think, but I'm not going to let somebody's exact, parallel mindset of, well, I think they should act this way. Well, who are you to tell me how I should act?
Right.
Who are you to tell me how I should think?
Right. Just like, how should you tell them?
Exactly.
Right. It goes both ways.
Yeah, and if they want to think that I should act or do or say something a certain way, again, that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, I know. I agree. So, how does endurance and perseverance fit into this podcast tonight? This is how I'm going to say it. Just believe in yourself. That's where your endurance comes in, right? Because we always say it starts with you. Mm-hmm. So that's where the endurance comes in. And know that while you're going through hard times, you can make it. That's where your perseverance comes in. And know that you may be a different person on the other side of that storm. And I know you've even said it to me before, Brian, because I've said to you, is it okay if I end up being a different person when this is over? And you've actually said to me, I encourage it. Mm-hmm. And that's just been mind-boggling to me. Because I think sometimes when we know we're going through those changes, like I said to you earlier, I'm having a lot of changes with my mindset. Sometimes it scares me. And there's several reasons for that. But when you say to me, embrace that, it's like, oh, God. But, I mean, you've embraced that person. And you seem to be happy with it. So life will change you, but that may not be a bad thing. Here's the thing. Don't apologize for the person you're becoming, but instead embrace those changes. And you've said that to me many times, and it's true. So I do have a quote that I want to end the podcast with, but before I do, Brian, do you have anything you want to add to this before I read this quote?
No, I guess it's the only thing I want to say is kind of what you were just saying about endurance and perseverance. The way I see it, and maybe to some people it won't make much sense, but to me it does, because to me they're both completely different things. Endurance is believing in yourself that you can do it. Perseverance is knowing that you have the capability of doing it.
That's good.
It's all about self-respect and never underestimating your own capabilities.
Right. That's true. It builds great character. Yeah, I like that.
Because knowing and believing are two different things.
You're not kidding.
So if those two things are so different, but you can align them up in a positive way, I believe in myself that I can do it, and I know I can do it.
That's right.
It's like putting those beliefs into action.
Yes, that's very good. So this is a quote that I found from one of my friends on Facebook, and it says, "Stay close to people that believe in you, lift you up, and make you feel like it's good to be yourself." Again, embrace those changes. So I'm going to read our quote that we have for our podcast every week, which is, "Believe in yourself, be patient with yourself, and know that your best is always good enough." And again, we can be found on many different platforms like YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and now on X. Please like, share, subscribe, and turn on any notifications so you don't miss any more episodes. Our email is giveemheck@gmail.com. And Brian is going to drop the link for the X account on our podcast. So feel free to join us on X. Give us any comments, suggestions, whatever you want to throw out there. And even if you have a suggestion on something you'd like to hear about, or give us one of your experiences, so you give us permission, we'll talk about that on the show. We'd love to hear from you. So I think with that being said, we'll wrap it up for tonight. And you good?
Yep. We'll see you next week, everyone.
Good night.